Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories about great minds and scientists who changed our world. We all know names like Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, and Marie Curie. But what about the unsung heroes, the scientists whose work shaped history, yet whose names remain forgotten? Today, we'll uncover the stories of three extraordinary individuals: Henrietta Leavitt, Ignaz Semmelweis, and Mary Anning. These are the great minds you've never heard of, but they changed the world forever. In the early 20th century, at Harvard College Observatory, a quiet woman worked tirelessly analyzing photographs of the night sky. Her name was Henrietta Swan Leavitt, and she was part of a group of women known as the Harvard Computers, hired to catalog stars at a time when women were not even allowed to use telescopes. Leavitt studied a special type of star called Cepheid variables. These stars change brightness in a predictable cycle. By carefully measuring them, she made a revolutionary discovery: the brighter the Cepheid, the longer its cycle. This relationship, known as the Leavitt law, gave astronomers a new cosmic yardstick. For the first time, scientists could measure the distance to faraway galaxies. Her discovery allowed Edwin Hubble to prove that the universe is expanding, one of the most important findings in modern science. Yet, Leavitt herself received little recognition during her lifetime. She died in 1921, long before the world realized how vital her work was. Henrietta Leavitt, the woman who measured the universe, remains a forgotten hero of astronomy. Our second story takes us to a hospital in Vienna in the 1840s. At this time, thousands of women were dying from childbed fever shortly after giving birth. The cause was a mystery, and most doctors blamed it on bad air or fate. But one physician, Ignaz Semmelweis, noticed something unusual. He compared two hospital wards. One run by doctors, the other by midwives. Women in the doctor's ward were dying at a much higher rate. Semmelweis realized that doctors often went directly from performing autopsies to delivering babies, without washing their hands. He introduced a simple rule: wash hands with a chlorine solution before examining patients. The result? Death rates plummeted from 18% to less than 2%. Semmelweis had discovered the importance of hand hygiene decades before germ theory was understood. But tragically, his colleagues rejected his ideas. They ridiculed him, and he died in obscurity, confined to an asylum. Today, we know him as the savior of mothers. Every time a doctor washes their hands before surgery, they honor the forgotten genius of Ignaz Semmelweis. Now let's journey to the rocky cliffs of Lyme Regis, England, in the early 1800s. Here lived Mary Anning, a poor girl from a working-class family, who would become one of the most important fossil hunters in history. At just 12 years old, Mary and her brother discovered the fossilized skull of a massive sea creature. Mary spent months carefully uncovering the rest of the skeleton. It turned out to be the first complete ichthyosaurus, a prehistoric marine reptile that lived millions of years ago. Over her lifetime, Mary discovered many more fossils, including plesiosaurs and pterosaurs. Her discoveries provided key evidence for the then radical idea of extinction, proving that entire species had vanished from Earth's history. Despite her contributions, Mary Anning faced discrimination. As a woman and someone without formal education, she was excluded from scientific societies. Wealthy men often took credit for her findings. Yet today, paleontologists recognize her as one of the founders of the science of fossils. She was, as one admirer said, the greatest fossilist the world ever knew. Henrietta Leavitt, Ignaz Semmelweis, and Mary Anning. Three names that should be as familiar as Einstein or Darwin. Their discoveries shaped astronomy, medicine, and paleontology, yet history almost forgot them. Why? Because sometimes society overlooks people, whether because they were women, outsiders, or simply too far ahead of their time. But their stories remind us of an important truth: science is not built by a few famous names alone. It is a collective effort, full of hidden heroes. So the next time you look at the stars, wash your hands, or see a dinosaur fossil in a museum, remember the forgotten scientists who made it possible. This was Great Minds You've Never Heard of. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories of scientists and great people who changed our world.